Welcome back, guys, to episode 17 of SquireTrades. It is October 8th, 4:44 p.m. Market has been closed for 44 minutes and will actually close in 15 minutes. Welcome back. We had a rough Friday. We had a rough week last week, but we powered through. Really quickly, I want to go back and cover Friday. I took a loss on Friday. I don't remember exactly what the loss was, so let's work through it together and see if I can identify where I lost. We were in this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. We had taken this buy side liquidity here. I'm guessing that my bias was bearish if I had to guess. And I'm guessing that I lost. I know I lost, but I'm guessing my bias was bearish. I saw this liquidity sweep this external, and I was looking for these relative equal lows down here to all get swept in one clean move and eventually make our way all the way down here in the coming week, this week. Let's dig down to the 15-minute, see what we can find. At first, I'm guessing I was waiting on us to actually come and dig into 4-hour fair value gap. There's your dig into it. And wow, long. I am not sure. Oh, here it is. Yep, I remember this one. We expanded and then we reversed. That's perfectly fine according to our market cycles. And then we had this 15-minute fair value gap here that I believe we ended up tapping back into. There's the tap into it. And then, like I said, these lows down here is what I was originally aiming for. We also have our London session low here. If you're unfamiliar with London session, that's 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. So we came and took London high over here. We displaced back through, created an inverse fair value gap here, created an actual fair value gap here, reached back up, tapped into it, and then I was targeting London low, I believe, as well as these other lows down here on the 4-hour chart. So let's jump back over here onto the 1-minute chart. I'm guessing we're going to be able to see where my loss took place. If I'm not mistaken, I took this right here. Boom. And then drug it up here for a 56-point stop loss. And drug this down to, I believe I actually drug this, I was hoping to stretch this down to 4.4R. And you're going to see that I believe I end up getting stopped out, and there it is. So Friday was a bad day, but that doesn't matter. We took a 1-hour loss on all of our accounts. No big deal. I kind of forced this trade, to be honest with you guys. I really just forced this trade trying to force a payout on my Apex account. I ended up losing and putting myself farther away from a payout than I should currently be right now. But that's no big deal because today was a very great day for us, and let me show you why. If I replay this, here's what I saw this morning when I woke up. I wake up at 5:30 and I check the market every single day before I get in the shower. Here's what I saw. We have right here our 4-hour market structure shift. And I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this short to play out. 4-hour market structure shift. What else do we have when the structure shifts? We also have this fair value gap. So it's beautiful. I see this. London comes up, taps into this. I'm looking for a reversal during our New York session to continue down and eventually come and take these lows. I also want to see us come take all of these relative equal lows here that I previously mentioned I was looking for on Friday. What actually ended up happening is really funny. So the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. candle, boom, look, my whole bias was cooked. My bias coming into today, I was praying for shorts. At 10 a.m., my bias was cooked because as soon as the body of this candle closed above this fair value gap, my bias was shot. So at that point, I'm thinking turtle soup. And if you're not familiar with what turtle soup is, it's basically just sweeping liquidity. I'm thinking we're going to come up, sweep this buy side liquidity here, while also simultaneously respecting this overarching bearish fair value gap. What ended up happening is I just flipped my bias. So I saw this buy side liquidity. I saw we closed above this market structure shift fair value gap. So I was immediately thinking, okay, well, let's dig down to the 15-minute chart, see what happens here. I mean, obviously, large market structure shift here. And at this point, I'm just hoping to see some kind of continuation move that I can get in on. So I'm watching this fair value gap. I believe we end up creating a second fair value gap. We don't. But I was watching this original fair value gap here for us to dig down into it and create some kind of structure like this and, keep going, right? As we always want to see. So what's really cool is we dug into this 15-minute fair value gap just barely. I mean, just by literal, I think a tick. 155.75, and this is 155.25. We dug into this 15-minute fair value gap by literally 50 cents. It was unbelievable. Moving back over here to this 4-hour, you can see I had this buy side liquidity marked out. You can see what we had over here on our 15-minute chart. And then you can see over here on the 1 minute, after we dug into what I wanted us to dig into, I'm looking for my model on the 1 minute, which is just a market structure shift. In this case, it wasn't even a market structure shift. It was just a break of structure. And when we broke structure here, there's your fair value gap. Right here at this level is your break of structure. At this point, I have my limit set here. I had my stop loss at the swing low for a 19-point stop loss, and my take profit was all the way up here at 3.3R. I was only risking about 80% of what I normally risk. If you're unfamiliar with what I normally risk, I normally trade, I only have 50K accounts through Apex Trader Funding and through my funded futures. On those accounts, your total withdrawal is your total drawdown is $2,500. I risked 10% of that for $250 a trade. This stop loss lined up at about 20 points. So I only took this with 5 cons instead of 6 cons like I normally would if I was risking full size. But after having a rough week last week, after being on kind of a loss streak, and this not being my A+ model by any means, I was willing to de-risk a little bit and let this trade kind of run for some extra RR, some extra risk to reward. So as you can see, this ended up playing out really nicely. I'm very satisfied to start my week off like this. Unfortunately, I have things to do for my job tomorrow, so I likely won't be able to trade from the hours of 10 a.m. to noon. I have a training. We'll see. If it sets up on the 15-minute, I will take a 15-minute execution. I won't be able to dig down to the 1 minute tomorrow, as I won't be able to manage that as effectively. We do have news tomorrow at 8:30. Today we had no news. Yesterday we had no news. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the rest of this week, we do have a lot of news, and it looks very good for some volatility in the markets. Hopefully we see some opportunity. Hopefully we can get in there, hit some big trades. Another thing I want to talk about in this video, and this is really, 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 really cool. I have been looking at other models. My model has earned me 2 payouts, and I am 1.6R away. I just needed to hit another 2R winner for my 3rd payout ever. That's on my Apex 50K account. That'll be my 3rd payout. But I am looking at other models just kind of for a higher frequency of trades, because if you're unfamiliar with my model, we maybe only get 1, 2, sometimes if we're going crazy, 3 executions a week. But they are very good executions, and they do end up running for good risk to reward, as you can see over here. One of the models we're considering is ICT Silver Bullet, okay? And very, very, very simply, here's how I can explain it to you. Delete everything off of your chart, okay? Go to the 5-minute time frame. You are only using the 5-minute time frame, okay? And what we're going to do is scroll back to Friday. And we're going to look. Here's the thing. You have 2 trade windows. You have 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., all right? And you have 2 to 3 p.m. Those are your windows, okay? And what the Silver Bullet is you look on the 5-minute time frame from 10 to 11, and you look for a fair value gap. So right here you can see is our 10 o'clock, and right here you can see is our 11 o'clock. Okay, do you guys see any fair value gaps in here? I do. There's a small one right here. And here's the thing, this is not a clean fair value gap. I probably would not ever take this, but we're just going to look at it for the sake of showing you guys what a silver bullet is. Look how tiny this fair value gap is. Anyways, there's your fair value gap. Okay, and basically what you do is you take and you set your limit at the top of it, and the stop loss kind of varies depending on who you ask. I typically would throw my stop loss at a swing point. So in this case, you would have a 105 point stop loss, which kind of sucks. And then you just set a fixed TP at 2R. And if it doesn't end up playing out to whatever, right, you can see later on in the day, we end up getting stopped over here. That kind of is what it is. So let's jump to the 2 to 3 p.m. window. Okay. Your 2 to 3 p.m. window, you're looking for the exact same thing. You're on the 5-minute chart. You're looking for any fair value gap between 2 and 3 p.m. Let's have ourselves a look. Right here is the start of your 2 p.m. Right here. And here is the end. Did we get any fair value gaps? It does not look like we ended up getting any fair value gaps. See? So that's just, that is what it is. No big deal. We didn't get anything. Whatever. So let's move to Monday. 10 to 11 a.m. Monday. Where are we at here? 10. Where's 10? There's 10. Where's 11? Here's 11. Do we have any fair value gaps? We do. Look at that. You have a fair value gap created right here at 11. You put your stop at the swing high like I previously said. And then you just fix your RR 2 to 1. So you can see that this silver bullet yesterday actually ended up just absolutely smacking and went forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. All the way down to 6R. You can see if we come over here. Let's jump to our 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. window. Here's your 2 p.m. And we actually created a fair value gap right at 2 p.m. There's your 3 p.m. And we actually created a fair value gap here. Boom. You're here. Your stop loss at the swing point. And guess what ends up happening? This also hits for very good risk to reward, right? I mean, you guys can kind of quickly see how this is a very good model. And it presents, I would say, on average, once a day at least, depending on the day. But really quickly, let's just run through here one more time and show you guys the silver bullet one more time. You have 10 to 11 a.m. Here's your 10 a.m. Your 11 a.m. is here. Your 10 a.m. is here. Let's find ourselves a fair value gap, okay? We created one right at 10 o'clock. We also created one here. So you set your limit at the top of the fair value gap. You set your stop loss here. And what do you aim for? You aim for a fixed 2R. And when I trade this, I trade it to fail or success. In this case, you met success at 2R once again. Okay? Again today, let's jump over to 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. All right? There's 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, there's 2 o'clock, boom. Where's your 3 o'clock? Your 3 o'clock is here. And now what are we doing? We are looking for a fair value gap. Okay, what are we going to do? Find a fair value gap. Here's your fair value gap in between 2 and 3 p.m. Then what are we going to do? Set our entry at the top, set our stop loss at the swing, and what ends up happening is this runs for 3R, but I recommend that you just set a hard TP at 2R. And there you go. That's the silver bullet. So anyways, that's my trade from Friday. That's my loss on Friday. That's my win on Monday. That's what the Silver Bullet model is going forward. I will be activating one PA account and trading the Silver Bullet with that. So look forward to that. And if you've stayed to the end here, I will say I am in a Discord, Expo Developers. I'll leave the link down below. Feel free to join, at me, talk to me, whatever you want. Ask questions, have good discourse, good conversation about the markets, whatever you'd like. Feel free to at me, feel free to talk to me. I will also say, someone asked a question under one of my videos a couple days ago. Shout out to that guy, man. He asked, hey, where would you look if you were starting over for good information? I recommend that you look up this guy named Ali Khan. I also recommend you look up ICT's 2022 mentorship. And find anything you can about MMXMs. Those are market maker sell models and market maker buy models. So there you go, guys. Look there. This is where I recommend that you start. If you have any questions, I'm always available. Feel free to talk to me, ask me, whatever you need to do. And it's been SquireTrades, guys. Let's have a good rest of the week, and we will see you tomorrow.